It was past midnight when the rain began to fall harder, soaking the empty streets of downtown Chicago. The bars were closing, the neon lights flickered, and most people were heading home, except for Jake, a single dad working late as a night janitor at a local cafe. He was tired, his shift had just ended, and all he wanted was to go home, check on his sleeping daughter, and get a few hours of rest before school drop-off. But life had a strange way of putting people exactly where they were meant to be. As Jake stepped out into the rain, he saw a woman stumbling near the curb. Her hair was wet, her heels unsteady. She was trying to hail a cab but could barely stand straight. At first, Jake thought she was just another late-night partygoer, but when a car sped by and splashed her with water, he saw the face clearly under the streetlight, his boss, Ms. Riley Carter, the tough but respected cafe manager. She was always composed at work, confident, strict, and never the type to lose control. Seeing her like that, fragile and lost, hit Jake with surprise. For a moment, he hesitated. It wasn't his business. But then he remembered how his daughter, Emily, once told him, "Dad, being kind means helping even when no one's watching." And so, without a second thought, he ran toward her. Before we continue, if you love true stories that warm your heart and restore faith in kindness, don't forget to subscribe to Kindness World, hit the like button, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps spread more stories like this one to inspire the world. Jake gently approached her. "Ms. Carter? Are you okay?" he asked softly. She blinked, confused, then squinted. "Jake? From the cafe?" Her voice slurred. She tried to stand tall but stumbled again. "Let me help you," he said, taking off his jacket to cover her shoulders. She smelled of alcohol and rain, but also of exhaustion, the kind that comes from holding everything together for too long. He helped her to a nearby bench, shielding her from the cold wind. She shivered, mumbling about a bad day, a lost contract, and how she just wanted to forget everything. Jake listened quietly, realizing this woman, his boss, was human too. Not the strong, untouchable manager she seemed to be, but someone hurting inside. When she tried to call a cab, her phone slipped into a puddle. Jake picked it up, wiped it off, and said gently, "You can't go home alone like this. Let me call someone or take you somewhere safe." She shook her head stubbornly. "No, I can't let anyone see me like this. Please, just, don't tell anyone." Jake nodded. He didn't ask questions. He just helped her to his old pickup truck parked nearby. He turned the heater on, handed her a bottle of water, and drove her home. She dozed off halfway there, her head leaning against the window. He saw the side of her face, peaceful for once, and couldn't help but feel empathy. Life was hard on everyone, just in different ways. When they reached her apartment, Jake helped her inside carefully, found a blanket, and made sure she was okay. Before leaving, he wrote a small note and left it on her kitchen counter, "You're safe. Get some rest. No one will ever know. Jake." Then he quietly left, drove home, and sat in his car for a moment outside his tiny apartment. The rain had stopped, but his heart was full. He wasn't expecting anything from what he did, it just felt right. The next morning, Jake showed up at work as usual, sweeping floors and wiping tables before sunrise. When Ms. Carter walked in, she looked perfectly composed again, hair neat, heels sharp, coffee in hand. But the moment her eyes met his, she paused. For a few seconds, there was silence between them, and Jake feared she might be embarrassed or angry. But then, something unexpected happened. She walked up to him, her eyes soft. "Jake," she said quietly. "Thank you, for last night." He just nodded. "You're welcome, ma'am. You don't have to mention it." "I insist," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "You could have taken pictures, told people, or embarrassed me. But you didn't. You helped me when I couldn't help myself. That means more than you know." Jake smiled humbly. "We all need someone sometimes," he said, and went back to cleaning. Later that afternoon, Miss Carter called him into her office. Jake thought he was in trouble, but instead, she handed him an envelope. "This is for you," she said. "A small bonus. And, a new position. I want you to be our assistant manager." Jake's eyes widened. "Ma'am, I don't know what to say." "Say you'll keep being the kind of person this world needs more of," she replied with a warm smile. He accepted it, stunned, grateful, and moved. But what truly touched him wasn't the promotion, it was knowing that his simple act of kindness had changed something deep within her. From that day forward, Miss Carter became a different kind of leader, more patient, more human. And Jake? He realized that kindness wasn't about what you get back, it's about what you give freely, without expecting a thing. A few weeks later, during a team meeting, Miss Carter shared something that made everyone silent. She said, "Sometimes, the people who seem the strongest are the ones who need kindness the most. And sometimes, it's the quiet ones who remind us what real strength looks like." Then she looked at Jake and smiled. That moment became a turning point for everyone at the cafe. People started looking out for each other, helping without being asked. The place didn't just serve coffee anymore, it served compassion. Jake would often come home late, tired but happy. His daughter Emily would run up and hug him, asking, "Did you help someone today, Dad?" And he'd smile, thinking of that rainy night, and say, "Maybe I did." One rainy evening, months later, Miss Carter stopped by Jake's apartment to drop off some documents. She noticed Emily drawing at the kitchen table. "What are you making?" she asked kindly. Emily grinned and held up her paper. "A picture of my dad helping people." Ms. Carter's eyes glistened. "That's beautiful," she whispered. Jake just smiled, embarrassed but proud. After she left, Emily looked at him curiously. "Dad, why do you always help people who don't ask for it?" He thought for a moment, then said softly, "Because sometimes the ones who don't ask are the ones who need it most." That night, as rain tapped gently against the window, Jake realized something powerful. Kindness doesn't just save others, it saves us too. It makes the world a little softer, a little better, one small act at a time. And maybe, just maybe, that's how real change begins, not with grand gestures, but with moments when ordinary people choose to care. So if you're watching this, remember, the simplest act of kindness can ripple through lives in ways you may never imagine. Be that light for someone today. You never know who might need it. Because kindness, true kindness, always finds its way back.